So, evolution is the term that I would probably use if I have to explain the journey of mobile technology that surrounds us. I mean, we are living in an era where mobile phones are folding and unfolding, and then the cameras on their back are capable to zoom like a mini telescope, and even there are some prototypes that literally have camera underneath the display where we cannot even locate them. Clearly, we are the lucky ones to be a witness for this. Now, moving to the work part, we are here to compare Sony Xperia 1 Mark II with the Huawei P40 Pro, and as you guys already know from the thumbnail, it's just a camera comparison based on the things we know about the sensors and all of these two phones. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. The Huawei P40 Pro has a quad camera setup similar to Xperia 1 Mark II, except there's a difference between numbers and all. The Xperia 1 Mark II clearly isn't a part of numbers game, and it has a basic 12 megapixel triple shooter with a TOF sensor, while the P40 Pro here checks the boxes with a 50 megapixel primary sensor, 40 megapixel ultra wide sensor, 12 megapixel telephoto camera, and last but not the least, a TOF sensor. Now, numbers aren't necessarily capable of giving you a true picture of how and up to what mark these phones could provide you an exceptional mobile photography experience. So let's see what else we have on the paper. No doubt, the P40 Pro will take pictures that have more details in them, but it's not like the Xperia 1 Mark II will give you blurry images or anything like that. I mean, when we compare mobile photography, it's about color reproduction, dynamic range, and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, if you're gonna post any picture on your social media accounts, these platforms will definitely compress the images and you'll not be able to show off with details. So just skip this megapixel count because a lot of companies out there are only fooling us on the name of details. The P40 Pro, however, comes with a couple of advantages like a bigger camera sensor that would fit right in your hands if you're looking for brighter images with details even at night. The Xperia 1, on the other hand, has a 1 by 1.7 inches primary camera that is similar to the P30 Pro from the previous year. So here you would get lesser light intake, but I guess it's not that bad if we have a capable software that can tune images according to our needs. Also, there's a thing with these bigger sensors found on P40 Pro and S20 that they cannot focus on every detail when the shots are taken from not so close but close distances. So I will probably pick Xperia 1 Mark II over any other phone with this problem. The fun part on these camera setups are always about ultra wide photography for me. So whenever I'm talking about mobile photography, I mention this very specifically. Both these phones have a wide angle lens with different configuration, and it looks like this. Again, Huawei is champion in the details game, but when we talk about aperture, there's not like a big difference between them, but I guess Xperia 1 Mark II has an advantage when it comes to low light conditions because of a slightly higher aperture, and for better understanding, it's similar to S20 Ultra. So I don't think Sony's gonna regret that decision. Both these devices have a feature which allows them to record cinema quality videos, and that means they don't give up the ultra wide angle lens for recording videos. Then we have telephoto camera on these phones that for God's sake have same megapixel count, but P40 Pro has higher aperture and zoom range, so obviously it takes a leap here. The last one is for depth control and portrait shots, so it works in a similar way for I guess every camera system out there. Now I think we have a pretty good idea of photography on these phones, so let's move to videography. The 1 Mark II and P40 Pro both record a 4K HDR video up to 60 frames per second, but according to my sources, the P40 Pro is much better when it comes to low light videography thanks to the bigger sensor, a much better stabilization compared to the 1 Mark II, and also it forms a huge gap for other phones to compete in slow-mo region because the phone records slow-mo at an impressive 7680 frames per second. There's also this new AI mode on P40 series where the device could recognize reflection and even fix them after taking the photos. But the game hasn't even begun yet, because the Xperia 1 Mark II has an industry-leading autofocus camera technology which is helpful in a lot of ways. The device can even record videos with 21:9 aspect ratio, which to be honest looks so professional. Sony also says that to improve the shooting experience, they took the help of engineers behind the latest Alpha 9 camera series. Additionally, there's a coating over the camera system which would help Xperia 1 Mark II to reduce reflections, unlike its predecessors that used to mess with it. So now, we just have to wait to see how they compare in real life. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.